Hey guys, King Charles here, TV Judge, your Judge, your Alice, and today I bring to you my best team for the Halloween Cup. This is actually my one for the last season, and it gives you this sweet 5-0 for this season against the newer meta, which is actually pretty nuts, because I'm actually using, this is Toxapex, Golbat, Safe Switch, and AAB team. So, Toxapex, Golbat, Safe Switch, and then you have Umbreon to close out with Psychic instead of Last Resort. So with Psychic, you have a better matchup against those poison types, and with a ton of poison types running around, it's definitely worth it to run Psychic Umbreon. So, as you see, this team is definitely was my best, got me the sweet 5-0, so hopefully it does really well for you as well. But before we get started, it's going to be my therapist mental health tip of the day. And this one's actually really important. You can skip 2 minutes ahead of the video or go to chapters if you want to skip this tip. But for those of you that want free, literally from a mental health professional, and it's like free tips for me that's actually practicing, something very valuable for you. But this is also from Psych Central. This is friendship. So I went out to dinner with my Pogo friends today, and it's awesome. One of my friends is like, yo, last minute, yo, you guys want to go to dinner? Let's go to this sweet dumpling shop. So you'll see me yawn in the shopcast because I'm in a food coma. I was really tired. So you know what? Yeah. Friends are very important, but also there is a psychological one to friends. So there's actually different categories of friends. And these are reviewed, again, these articles from Psych Central are actually reviewed by actual doctors and those with PsyDs or actual licensed clinicians. So mental health professionals actually review these articles. And this one is friendship styles. You want one of all four, but the one you want the epitome of friends, which is your best friends. The one where you can have fun through the fun and still you can have fun and silly times, but also be there for you during the dark times. And my Pogo friends, we've been friends since I moved to California, which has been almost literally, we've been best friends for like 5 years. So almost 5 years. Yeah, actually it's gonna be 5 years this December. So we've been best friends for a very long time, and that's how much we trust each other. So yes, definitely read this article, check up on your friendships, but definitely it's really good to have those best friends out there. And I have like my brother-in-law tomorrow, we're gonna watch UFC, and I can't wait to watch that card. It's gonna be a good weekend for me, and hopefully it's a good weekend for y'all. Before we do that, let's get started. I hope you all enjoy this. This is my best team for the Halloween Cup. It was my best one last season and best one this season. I hope y'all enjoyed this sweet 5-0. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. First we got Toxapex and Umbreon. And obviously this is a great lead, except for when Umbreon has Psychic. So because Umbreon got buffed with Psychic, you eat one Psychic, it's going to suck a lot. So this really comes down to whether or not you eat a Psychic or not. As you see, they bait me with a foul play, which is actually great on their part, and then we get a Toxapex. So here's the problem. The problem, actually, it's a Tentacruel. I guess that's what the problem is. Well, actually, it's not so much a problem anymore. If it's Toxapex, they have a little bit better because Toxapex can lift 3 Mud Bombs. In this case, Tentacruel can only lift 2. So as you see here, I'm going to send in Umbreon next because I don't want to lose my Toxapex against that Umbreon. And there's no reason for me to keep Umbreon here because they're likely going to Acid Spray me. As you see here, they are going for, I can expect, if they Acid Spray you once, chances are they're going to do it again. And as you see, the Acid Spray goes off, and I'm going to fire off Foul Play. This should either get nearly kill this Tentacruel or take it out. So, well, actually, it won't nearly kill. As you see, I'll nearly kill, and I can go ahead and farm down. Even if they brine me, I won't. They shouldn't be able to get to a brine here, and now I have energy for a Psychic and a whole Foul Play, and we get Umbreon back. Even though I'm not carrying Last Resort, that's fine. As you see, I overcharge a little bit. If this Umbreon has Last Resort, that's okay, just because Umbreon's gonna have to, I'm gonna be able to get either a Foul Play off here and then fire another move off, or as you see here, it fires on CMP. So this is perfectly fine. This is probably gonna be a Last Resort. If it's a Last Resort, this should take me out because I'm -4. I send in Toxapex, and then all we're gonna do is just keep alignment. That's literally all we're doing here, just keeping alignment. I win CMP, so I'm gonna be able to fire this Mud Bomb, and we have a whole Golbat in the back. Preferably, you want Golbat as your closer because you don't want Umbreon to get knocked up against something like a Charmer or like an Azu. So I will try to keep Golbat alive as much as possible, and we get a Drifblim. This is actually really terrible for us. Here's the problem. One Icy one won't kill. However, I don't know if I could get to 2 Shadow Balls. As you see, Ice Beam goes off. I fire a Shadow Ball, and I'm praying they don't call this. If they do, I'm in a lot of trouble. So as you see, Shadow Ball goes off, and they call the Shadow Ball, which is actually very bad. So as you see here, I'm hoping that I'm going to be... The good thing about Icy Wind, it lowers your attack, not your defense. So because of that, I might be able to get to another Shadow Ball, and I do. With literally 1 HP in a freaking dream. My Shadow Golbat's IVs are actually pretty good, so that 1 HP in a dream moment actually worked out for us. Shadow Ball will kill, and then we get Umbreon just taken out by 1 wing attack. And that was a super close matchup, even though I won the lead. So, yeah, it was insanity. But next up, we got Nidoqueen on a Toxicroak. This is you technically win this. You technically lose this lead, actually. So here's the thing: Nidoqueen can actually straight Poison Fang in the 2 shield against Toxicroak. You don't have to shield the first one like I do here. My goal is to break shield against this Nidoqueen, but Nidoqueen can bully its way in the 2 shield scenario with Toxicroak. So you actually lose the... They have choice of you losing this lead because they can just Poison Fang through, as you see here. It takes 5 for Poison Fang, 6 for Mud Bomb. So that's why, because they outpace you to Poison Fang, they can take you out. So as you see, the damage adds up, and they send in a Crustle. I'm glad I sent in my Umbreon because you don't want Shadow Golbat to line up against this Crustle. As you see, X-Scissor goes off, and it's going to do big damage because Dark is weak to Bug. So, our poor little Umbreon is going to... you know, Shinies do more damage. I wish they did a lot more damage here because my blue Umbreon is really pretty, and it's from San Francisco. Fun fact, San Francisco has really good food. Today I had dumplings with my best Pogo friends, and dumplings were amazing. Soup dumplings are absolutely goated. And I had taro dumplings, which is like... Oh man, like if you had taro bubble tea, oh my god, it's amazing. But yeah, it's good. And the only reason I'm trying to fill up that area right now is because freaking Crustle vs. Umbreon is boring and I'm just going straight foul play anyways. I'm going to try to farm down here and keep alignment, and I do. And now I'm going to fire this foul play. Unfortunately, I can't fire Psychic, but that's perfectly fine. If we grab this shield, it's going to be great. If we don't, that's perfectly fine. And we do not, because as you see here, even if we don't grab shield, it does big damage. We have Tyranitar. I sent in Toxicroak, and I'm not going to fire anything. The reason being is because I want to get as much fast move damage as possible. Because I did what I did here, this Nidoqueen shouldn't be able... This Nidoqueen's pretty much done. Nidoqueen has nothing that'll take me out, and not firing. The reason why I wanted to do that, like with Toxicroak, is if you know you're gonna die, you want to make sure if you don't fire anything, you're not going to lose a fast move. And as you see, that fast move damage mattered a lot, and it allowed me to get the dub. So Shadow Tyrantars are running around here plenty. That's why I like Toxicroak. And Toxicroak gives you it really loves Shadow Tyrantar, as you see here on the last battle. Next up, we got Toxicroak onto Nidoqueen. Like I mentioned, if it's a Shadow, you can burst through the 2 shield. The normal one's a little better to deal with though, because Nidoqueen has to essentially Earth Power you or you get taken out. So as you see here, even with Poison Fangs don't do as much as they normally do, and I'm going to fire this Mud Bomb because I don't want them to debuff me. Toxicroak and counter does really good, and as you see, we're even able to break a shield from our opponent. I'm not going to shield this. This is likely not going to be an Earth Power. This is probably going to be a Poison Fang because there's no way they have much energy. I keep alignment, and then we get an Azu. This is bad, because Azu with Ice Beam does decently well against Shadow Golbat, even though Shadow Golbat's Poison Fang hurts a lot. I fire my Sludge Bomb, and I'm going to give up Switch here, actually. So the reason I do this is because this Azu has Ice Beam. Go ahead, hit me with the Ice Beam. So I'm going to shield once, but yeah, go ahead, show the Ice Beam, and sure enough, it is an Ice Beam. And my opponent isn't firing right away, so I try to fire this Poison Fang. My goal, to do as much chip as possible against this Azu. So as you see, 1 Poison Fang from Shadow Golbat does a ton of damage, and we get a Crustle. But because Crustle was swapped in late, I should be able to get the Shadow Ball here, and I do. Shadow Ball will go off and do big damage. And 1 Shadow Ball will it won't outright KO Crustle, but it gets near damn close against Nidoqueen and in Crustle. Now the good thing is, all I have to do is farm down this Crustle, and then all I have to do is just Psychic down that poor Azu in the back. I still have a Toxicroak just in case I need a Sack Swap or anything like that. But even if Azu is playing Play Rough, all it's going to take is 2 Psychics to take it out. So I should be able to get to 2 Psychics here. Even if they do Play Rough me, it takes 2 Play Roughs. And I have Toxicroak as a just in case. However, I'm going to let them fire first because, like I said, 1 won't kill me, and I got to the Psychic, so I'm predicting even if this is a Play Rough, they won't be able to take me out. If it's a Hydro Pump, they'll put me in the red. So thankfully, Umbreon is thick, and Umbreon being thick, unfortunately, I got really wet. But you know what? Psychic will be able to KO at this range, and that's game. And go battle. Like, you know what? I get it. You top lefted when you fire, but can you stop lagging? If they top like, it's so annoying. The lag has been. I'm still getting the pause your freaking lag glitch. It's so annoying. Like, it really is. Like, none of my. It's what it is. We got Toxapex onto Toxapex. This is where Toxapex shines because Toxapex does great against Toxapex just because these mud bombs start to add up. However, even though Brian is a really crappy move, because Toxicroak is very squishy, not super squishy, but it's squish. Dude's mad squish, and mine is a dude. Yeah, mine is actually a dude. And we get an Araquanid. Luckily, I was able to just save it. I waited for a bit because I expected him to swap. I wasn't expecting an Araquanid, no. Okay, here's the thing about Araquanid. Bubble Beams barely do any damage against Shadow Golbat. So with this, I can actually just Poison Fang. So this is a really weird matchup because you're debuffing me by my attack, but I debuff your defense. So essentially, nothing's happening here. As in, they're still taking the same amount of damage from my Shadow Wing attacks because all I'm doing is debuffing them and they're just debuffing my attack. So everything essentially stays the same. So Araquanid is actually pretty dang good in this cup if you put it relying against the right things, but unfortunately, there's something called Toxapex that's actually way better. And his swaying Quillfish is actually pretty funny, or Overquill. Now here's the problem. I fire my Mud Bomb here, switch in, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want to clear that attack debuff. I don't want to stay in the debuff, and they actually grab a shield, which is great. So as you see, I'm able to get 2 of these Mud Bombs. Umbreon has a really great matchup against Sableye, so I'm hoping Umbreon should be able to just close out this matchup, or I have 2 shields. So Umbreon has a really good chance of taking our opponent in this matchup, and this is going to do really great for us. Returns? Okay, fun fact. Sableye can actually beat Umbreon in the zeros straight return. That's how nutty Sableye is. And as you see here, my opponent was not expecting me to hit them with a Psychic on their Toxapex. And it's funny, because I get the defense debuff too. Actually, I preferred if I didn't get the defense debuff, because I could actually get more farm here. But this is okay, it works out. Because as you see here, I'm going to go to 100 energy anyways, so. And we get Sableye coming back, so I should be able to just double up on Foul Play. Hell, I could even give up Golbat if I want to. As like a sack, and all I really have to do is just fast move them down. I'm going to fire Foul Play though, because all I want to do is break that last shield and put pressure on them. And it's pretty much game over. If you don't die to the Foul Plays, you're going to die to wing attack damage, so. Oh, excuse me. It's late at night, and I have a lot of food. When you have a lot of food at a dumpling house, you get really sleepy. So, food coma. And we get a Trevenant, which is actually a terrible lead for us. And we get a Mandibus swapped into us. So this is actually not that bad. The reason being is because Golbat, Shadow Golbat can actually beat Mandibus in the 2-shield because Poison Fang debuffs. So, this actually does great for us. The only problem is, it's Snarl. And because of Snarl, you actually are able to, because it's Snarl, they will charge faster, which sucks. But it's what it is. So all we're going to do is we're going to fire these Poison Fangs, and we're just going to outright win the 2-shield and then win alignment. The problem is, I don't want to expend 2 shields here, but I'm going to kind of have to do it anyways. But one Foul Play goes off, and then I'm going to have to expend my energy here. I'm trying to time it to where, and then this lag is redonkulous. Oh my god. Oh my god. I like, when you're in a 5-0 match, and this is what happens to you, it's super annoying. Because you know you're about to win, but like, oh my gosh. Because if it's a 3-turn move, it throws you off your interval, and I don't know why this glitch has been happening so much. I've lost so many 4-1s and 5-0s because of this glitch that I'm done. I'm literally done with Go Battling. And we got Trevenant. My win condition was for you to give up Switch, and thankfully you gave up Switch. So now I can line up Trevenant against Umbreon, and then this is a great matchup for Umbreon. Sea Brown's going to do off. They're not going to do a lot of damage here, but they have 2Q. But this is perfectly fine because I should be able to double up on Foul Plays here, and we got game. So as you see here, because our opponent, I wish it, that lag, I hated, that lag, hated so much. And as you see, Trevenant is going to go down to 1 Foul Play because that's just how powerful Umbreon is. Mandibus comes back in. I'm going to fire this Foul Play. Even if it doesn't kill, I can get a little bit of an extra energy lead onto my Toxicroak that's still alive. So as you see here, I'm just going to let this go. It doesn't really matter what they have here. Umbreon's bulky. It should live. So as you see here, we got Nidoqueen. So I'm going to fire this Psychic. And yeah, this is going to suck. So, as you see here, I'm going to go ahead and get Poison Fanged. Thankfully, that doesn't kill, and I should be able to fire Psychic. Thankfully. If that was Shadow, that would have killed, and I probably would have let Umbreon go, but thankfully they're not using Shadow. And this grabs their last shield, which is great, because now all I have to do is Mud Bomb my way to victory. Their timer is up. Their switch timer isn't up yet, so then I should just be able to Poison Fang here, and then Mud Bomb here, and then just punch this thing to death. Literally just punch it to death. They're probably going to try to sack, but it doesn't really matter at this point because Toxapex is just going to run over this poor Nidoqueen. So this really doesn't matter. Poison Fang goes through, and they're going to fire a single Poison Fang, but it doesn't really matter because counter damage is going to be able to take this out. Again, this is my best team for the Halloween Cup last time, and it did really well for me and caught me another sweet 5-0 in the current Halloween Cup meta. So I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. This is Toxicroak, Golbat, Safe Switch, and Umbreon to close out. The only difference between last season and this season, like I mentioned, is I'm using Psychic instead of Last Resort because of all the poisons running around. And as you see, it works out pretty well. And thanks to that, we get this sweet 5-0 with my best Halloween team, a Cup team. This is my best one, and it did really well for this season, so I'm really happy. And hopefully it does well for you if you decide to use it. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. As you see, we got a sweet... this was a pretty dang sweet 5-0 considering, like, all the, like... I lost like twice in this one, and there was a lot of things. It was crazy. It was crazy. And you notice these matches are actually pretty longer than the average like Halloween Cup match. So definitely I spent a while doing these matches versus the other way around. So, but hopefully you enjoyed the battles, and I hope y'all pre-ordered Scarlet and Violet because I have to do that. Actually, I have to do that later this week. I'm going to pre-order Scarlet. And it's literally less than a month until that game releases, and less than a month until I start making content for a brand new game. Because I'm so excited to do. I'm still going to do Go Battle League, like I told you. I'm still going to do PvP, but the other side of it is definitely going to be Scarlet and Violet content. So you're going to see a best of both. So 2 worlds, and I'm going to be super excited to play another game that's Pokemon and make content on it. Because again, as much as I like Pogo PvP, it's not it. And I want to spend time where I don't have to dedicate 2 hours of my life playing and doing the same thing over and over again with little reward. Legend is going to get me in a pose, and I'm not even going to use the Guzma pose anyways. I'm going to use Leon, so I'm good. And like I mentioned before, I'm really demotivated to make content for Pogo PvP anyways. For those that enjoy it, it's still going to be out there, but I will not be going after Legend. That doesn't mean my battles aren't as sweaty or my opponents don't know what they're doing past what they're doing. The biggest myth that people tell you is that there's different metas every 100 elo. That is the stupidest concept I've heard in my entire life. You want to know why? Because of one fact. Go Battle League is blind. As someone that is one of the 0.01% of Go Battle League that can say I made a unique team in Go Battle League that no one ever figured out, Season 1, Hydreigon, Mewtwo, Rhyperior. Only one to do it, only one to ever figure out, only one to ever make Legend with a pure unique team, Open Match League way back in the day. I am one of the handful, if not count on my fingers, that has actually done it. And that was a unique team with a very specific strategy. But that's because the meta is small. So I could figure stuff out, and you could plausibly calculate, go through many combinations. The meta in Go Battle League is huge. There is no limits now. And with further justification, it's blind. When it's blind and you put this huge pool, you can encounter anything. And the one thing you think that's not there, guess what? You see in the next battle, and then if you can have a good day, you have a bad day. There is never an even playing field when you play Go Battle League because there is such a huge luck factor that goes into it as well. Yes, you can find little win conditions here and there, but there's a reason why other games have hundreds and thousands and millions of daily players, and we only have like 10,000 or less on a daily basis, or tens of thousands, or even less than tens of thousands on a daily basis, because this blind system doesn't work. It is horseshit. It needs to change. And it factually, if it can only bring you 2K per regional on Twitch, there needs to be something. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed my rant. But yes, I am done with Legend. Done trying this. And I can't wait to do this duel thing. But that's the honest to God truth. You have many people out here that make content. I'm one of the few, if not the only, if I'm one of the few, if not one of the handful, or even count on my fingers that I know, create a unique team that you couldn't copy, and no one could emulate me. That's how proud I am of that team. But again, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all enjoy. Hope y'all are enjoying dual content. Or if not, you can unsubscribe because I don't please anybody. I do it myself. I do what I want. And for those of you that say, I do appreciate you. Good luck on your go battles, and I will see y'all on the next video.